start. An incredible start for the Knights as they secure victories in the Tasha Gold Cup. SG World Cup finals, as well as for a Newcastle Maitland region side in the Women's Country Championships. But first, it was just spectacular for the Newcastle Knights, Tasha Gale and SG Ball Cup sides, as they secured a win in the first week of the finals. It was spectacular for the Knights Tasha Gale Cup, who managed to beat the Canberra Raiders with a historic 16-6 victory. It was a historic one up at Leichhardt Oval.
Gets the first try for the Raiders.
But of course, the Newcastle Knights had everything that they could do. It was just massive for Newcastle, who were too strong right throughout the game. The Knights led 10-0 right up in the first half. But thankfully, the Knights had to keep their defence on good spirits.
Beth Locker scores.
But it wasn't for long before it was called back.
Across it comes for Locker. Beth Locker scores.
And of course, the Knights had to score the last one to go through to the semi-final, which is the preliminary final, winning the match 16-6.
Neil, playing on their own. There it is, folks. The Newcastle Knights, 16 points to 6. That full time from right to left.
And of course, it was marvellous for the Newcastle Knights SG Ball Cup side. They managed to take on the Sydney Roosters and beat them with a huge win.
Comes across for Cassius Tier. What's the kick across? Bouncing ball! And it's a try early for the Roosters.
Despite that, Newcastle scored a try back.
Kick goes through this time. They're going to get it back. And Malachi Smith. Well,
both teams were locked up 6-all.
Cassius Tier. Numbers out wide. It's on. It's on in the corner. Carliti. Sialsi Carliti with the try.
Good news came above for the Knights. They secured revenge after that by running above.
So let's say outside and a try.
And scoring one of the best tries of all.
Knights come back.
Just in time to make it 12-10.
Get some more points before the break. Extend their lead. Across they come on the outside, Coburn!
Before scoring another to make it 18 points to 10.
Just about had him in half a gap there, Smith.
Then 24 to 10.
And we're going to be in for a try, Taj Blackman. Last tackle.
Then another one to secure it 30 to
He
10.
scored a try.
Right up in the second half. But then, when time ran out, it was just huge for the Knights.
Offloads on.
One of the biggest scoring wins coming above. It was just spectacular.
And I think it's a great try in the corner.
36 to 10.
35 points to 10.
It was a 35-10 win, becoming enough for Newcastle to go through.
Week 1 of the finals in the UNE SG Ball Cup. They will move on. The Roosters into the off-season.
For meanwhile, up in Coffs Harbour on the mid-north coast, a lot of teams had wins. First, it was the Central Coast Roosters.
And that's going to be Shanae Ball.
And then finally, the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights as part of the Women's Country Championships.
She didn't need either of them. She'll go over for a second of the afternoon. That's it there, and we'll finish with the Central Coast Roosters. 30 points to nil is how the day will finish. And the Central Coast Roosters, after having the hits in the first match, have got their title defence back on track. As the Roosters get us started, they're running right to left in your screen as we get ready.
And of course,
the
Newcastle Maitland Region Knights all but had to kick things off with a try.
There's a nice gap here for the Knights to get the first try. They might have just done enough. And I think that's Susanna Cook from dummy half. And just Nielsen coming on as well for the Knights.
Before Newcastle scored yet another.
To try to do the Knights done well to read the kick, and it's still play on here for the Knights. They've taken it up to the 20, and that's going to be Taylor Goldsmith. And you don't need me to tell you how much that try meant to the Newcastle Knights. Good opportunity now here.
But then the Roosters threatened to fight back.
Side here for the Roosters, and they've just, you think, got their first try.
But their try wasn't
of the
good.
Match. It's just a matter of the referee likes it, he does. Taylor Bateman to play it. So kick there round over the Newcastle head. The bounce is favourable. And is it favourable?
Even though the Central Coast threatened to fight back.
Just off that bounce of the ball, the Central Coast Roosters are within 4 with a kick to come at 14 to 10. And it has now.
But not enough. As the Knights managed to secure a 2-point win.
They've got at least some bit of revenge against the Central Coast for last year.
Then it was a battle of the North Coast teams, with the Northern Rivers Titans up against the North Coast Bulldogs.
Willie Patson, and she got this down for the first try of the match. And if it had to come from the captain for the Titans. They find themselves on the Bulldogs' red side.
The Northern Rivers continued on.
Lee with the option on the left side. Finds that one up into Harris. Gets that one in. And this time Ebony Crompton will have no problem catching that one to put some extra points on the board for the Titans. 10 away.
10-0. It was just marvellous. And of course, the North Coast Bulldogs struck back.
It was just too much pressure in the end there for the Titans. 10 points to 6, the Titans hold
the
on.
Northern Rivers won 10-6. And of course, Newcastle took on the Greater Northern Tigers. It was massive for Newcastle, who were too strong for their roles.
Now for the Knights, passed away there. That's going into that. I think that's Duagaya. Come up with plan B.
And of course, Newcastle had to secure revenge.
Good carry here up the. And they might have just got their second try of the morning here, the Knights. Just inches away from the try line. Finds Susanna Cook. Playing this one through the hands. Options on the right side. Had to be played out for the Knights. Should be 6 more.
Thankfully, the ball was not dropped. And of course, the Knights secured one of the best victories of all time.
This way for the Newcastle Knights. That could be Brittany Duff, the number 13.
14-6.
That's Trapman.
Before it became 20-6.
And eventually she gets over there. And that's going to be all she wrote for the first match here.
And that's how it
Very much
stayed,
an arm
though.
wrestle for the majority. Be the Northern Tigers.
And
with
of
the first
course,
goal of the
here
footy.
come the Greater Northern Tigers.
And already having a couple of chances up the other end is now giving the Tigers a good shot here to get the first point. And they're liking it in
And
this
it
corner, the
certainly
Tigers.
was.
And for good reason, they split the Titans' defence. And just like that, the Tigers are up 4-0 after having to
And they
defend a
certainly
couple of their
were.
own. Titans now with another opportunity, but they got
Then
one
the
play to
Northern
do it
Rivers
in.
had
And
other
that's going to be
ideas.
Ella Harris. Managed to offload it, and she managed to get the key to this Northern Tigers lock. What can occur?
6-all.
From
It
that.
was huge for the Northern
Sorry, that's a
Rivers.
she said. That's actually Emmy Crompton. And Ebony Crompton,
And of
which
course,
I believe that
Crompton
will be her
scored for the
second
Northern
try.
Rivers.
Be Crompton to play it. Oh, she was intending to play it. She'll have a chase on the footy. She might just get her hands on it here for it. Now that could even be her second try, and it would have just come from an absolute play that just came out of nowhere. That is her second. Oh, in quick succession. I'll try again.
And the Greater
here,
Northern
Cut out
Tigers
pass in
killed
the
a
corner.
comeback.
Is this going to be some points for the Tigers? And we'll just see what referee calls here. We're back at 14 points to 10. 20 away from the Tigers line. Lee finds that one up into Morrissey. This could be Ebony Crompton. Now, did she just get a hat trick? She has. This is Quigley. They're a bit fit on the right side here, the Titans. A pass away in the corner, and the Tigers are over.
And they certainly
We
were.
won't see any more in this match. The
14.
Titans managed to hold on, but
The
once
Greater
again,
Northern Tigers won 14,
two
while the
games in a row
Northern
where they
Rivers
scored
won
right on the-
18. Then, more good news came for the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights, scoring try after try, holding more pain on the North Coast Bulldogs.
Try of this morning's encounter. Goes left to Oakley. Nielsen. Thinks about going wide. Cuts back infield. That's tackle 5. She's brought down to the 10-metre line. 20 in from touch.
Good news
On the western
came
side.
for the
Cook
Knights,
goes to Oakley. Oakley looking to make her way through. As she dives
securing a
over.
victorious win for
Catches
Newcastle.
the defenders napping. Ebony Oakley gets the Knights second. And they extend their lead out to 8 points to 0. And that'll be all she
Before
wrote
it
from
went
West
up
Coast
to
Sports League after
10-0,
Game 6
right
of the
up
Women's
at
Cup
full
Championship.
time.
Is the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights making it 3 from 3.
Then the other game was, of course, the
Mitchell with it
Bulldogs
goes
versus
left.
Greater Northern Tigers
This is
game.
Baker. Is she going to
And
get
of course,
herself
the
over?
Greater Northern
Gets the
Tigers
offload.
hoping to
Barraclough
score their
out
first
wide. There's a
win
gap
of
there.
the
It's an
season.
overlap. And Reedon gets herself
But
over
of
the
course,
line.
by
Referee checks
scoring
it
a
out. Points
try.
as a slot. The Tigers looking for a second. Barraclough down the short side. And it looks like we're over for a second. The Tigers.
And they certainly were.
About 3 or 4 on one.
It was
out
a
wide.
marvellous
Get it
one
there.
indeed.
Going back to the short side. Here's
And of
Shrewise.
course, the
She
North
dives
Coast
over.
Bulldogs threatened to fight back.
So Shrewise breaks the drought for the North Coast Bulldogs, and the score's 10-4.
And she certainly did.
She's come on in the second half.
But then the Greater Northern Tigers managed to secure their first win of the season.
Barraclough inside to Reedon. Reedon outside of Barraclough. They've got numbers out here, and that is Kerr. And has Kerr gotten over? Set deep to the left now.
Of course,
Cut out to Barraclough.
the Tigers managed to
Kerr,
secure a
nice ball out in
victory.
front. And the Tigers are in again. This time it's Cassidy Morley. Jada Stevens takes a light hit up.
22 to
It's game 8 of
6.
the Women's Country Championships. This is
Then the
nice.
best one came for the
Moving on to
Newcastle
20.
Maitland
Puts
Region
the head
Knights.
down.
They had to take
Tries
on
to
the
make some
North.
meters.
They had to
Great
take
tackle
on
by
the Northern
Campbell.
Rivers
And Oakley's with a
Tigers.
2. Releases the football. The ref says play on.
And of course,
Goldsmith with
play
it.
on is what the
Goldsmith in
ref
open
said.
territory. Stopped short of line as she put it down.
Tries scored. It was just massive.
Short. Warren at the dummy half.
With the Knights scoring, it was
Cross.
just
The outside
spectacular.
ball is brilliant. And the Maitland Newcastle Knights score the second try.
And they certainly
Closing in on
did.
half time. A good combined tackle there again by the Titans.
Then they managed to score another one right in the second
International
half,
steps off the
as
left.
well as in the final
Gets
minutes
taken
of the
down,
game.
tries to offload and gets it out. Goldsmith now
Bypasses Lukashewicz. Goes to Trapman. Trapman, can she bundle her way over?
Trapman managed to
room to release.
managed to quickly pass the ball on.
This is an effort here from Oakley.
And of course, Oakley scored the match winner
Oakley over. The siren's gone.
To quickly secure a 16-0 win for the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights over the Northern Rivers Titans, unbeaten after 4 rounds. But then something had to be done.
That was a wonderful kick.
The Greater Northern Tigers had to do everything.
Now, first receiver. Kick over the top. Looking for Klingner. This is Morley. Can she go it again?
It was massive for the Greater Northern Tigers.
Morley. About 6 minutes left in this one. Time clock at the bottom of your screen. This is a great bustling run by Taylor Jux. And Taylor Jux is over. Lifting the Roosters
but it
in the
wasn't
final
for long.
4 minutes. Here's Wollaston. Wollaston looking for the gap. Nearly found it. Broke the tackle. Can she go herself? Yes, she can. Melanie Wollaston. And that could be the winner. Mitchell goes herself. Can't get there.
But it wasn't to be. As the Roosters as the Central Coast Roosters continued on
from behind in the last 5 minutes,
defeating the Greater Northern Tigers 22-12.
Playing wide.
To round 4 of Newcastle Rugby League, and the Cessnock Goannas have continued their unbeaten run by defeating the Western Suburbs Rosellas with a huge win. It was just massive for Cessnock, who were too strong for their rivals right throughout the game.
Butler will point to the spot, and that will make it 22 points to 18 with the kick to come for Western Suburbs. And as we said, Brock. And he's made sure of it. Solid kick there by Bideris. So 22-20 to Cessnock. As the West crowds...
But then, left on the clock, it was just brilliant for Cessnock.
We go back to the right. A little bit disjointed at the moment, the Goannas, without their half.
It was incredible for the Cessnock Goannas, who of course managed to score tries and win the game.
Anderson bumped out of a couple of tackles, and that's a very telling try in the screen. But
of course, Cessnock managed to score one more.
Managed to retrieve his kick too, or he's been terrific. And I did ask you a few minutes ago who was the best player on the field. Dangerous.
As well as win the game 34-20.
Congratulations on Cessnock.
This is now going to be
to round 1 of the Northern Rivers Rugby League, and Moranbah has secured a win over Casino. And because of that, Moranbah were just too strong for their
19 tries
rivals.
in 22. But that's probably one of the first he's ever scored from dummy half, but it all counts for the Moranbah Mustangs. They get themselves back in front since the 4th minute.
And of course, Moranbah secured a fight back, and it certainly became enough.
And as I said, that's where they know their craft from representing the Gold Coast Vikings no less than a year ago. Now, that is now going to make the scoreline 20 points to 12. Good chase here for Byron.
Even though Byron Bay chased back.
Ricardo Peretta, the ex-Mudra Bar Redback.
But it was not enough
5 minutes
to
ago.
secure a win.
This time he'll put the points on the board for Byron Bay. And they slim this margin down at 20 points to 4, 20 points to 16. Ricardo Peretta, the ex-Burleigh Bears and Tweed Seagulls Host Plus Cup representative to land. Go ahead. We're in a level ball game and still 5 minutes left to go.
In the first one of Group 21 Rugby League, and Greta Brankston has defeated Aberdeen with a historic win. It was just brilliant for Greta Brankston, who were just too strong for their rivals. But meanwhile, there was good news for for Denman, as they gave the Singleton Greyhounds a huge thrashing. While in the other one, Scone and Muswellbrook were forced to draw 16 all. To round one of Group 4 Rugby League, and Dungawin is taking down Narrabri with a 64-6 win, while Boggabri were too strong for North Tamworth, while West Creek defeated Gunnedah, and the Morway Bulls took down the Katingal Moonbye Roosters.
Good ball movement from Maitland.
Meanwhile, in the NBL 1 East, it was a battle of the Hunter teams, with the Maitland Mustangs and Newcastle Falcons taking on against each other right up at Maitland Sports Ground.
For his offensive rebound, gets another one.
Right up in the men's competition.
Oh, he pulls it again. Gets one to go this time.
By Gray.
As well as in the women's
She
competition.
finds Waskovich. And she gets it.
And of course, both sides managed to quickly have a fight back.
Gray goes with the left. And she gets the N1. Great finish there by.
But of course, Maitland managed to
Gray.
secure a win in
7
both
seconds on the
sides.
shot clock. They
And
find
of course,
Williams.
the Falcons have a home game
Give and go.
this
Up and under.
weekend.
And it's good.
To round 3 of Central Coast Rugby League, and Wyong has defeated Kincumber. Turkley has edged out the entrance, while Terrigal has defeated Berkeleyville. Also, Erina has defeated Woy Woy. To round 1 of the Hunter Premier Rugby, and Merewether Carlton have secured a win over the Southern Beaches. And of course, last year's grand finalists were just aka premiers, were just too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. And of course, Merewether won the game 65-7. While in the other matches, the Wanderers defeated the Hamilton Hawks, and Maitland defeated the University of Newcastle. But of course, round 2 kicks off this afternoon with Maitland up against Hamilton. The Southern Beaches are up against the University of Newcastle, and Merewether are up against. And Merewether has moved their match to Tuesday, where they are up against the Wanderers. And of course, it's round 3 of the AFL Hunter Central Coast, with Maitland up against the Nelson Bay Marlins, while Kalanival are up against their rivals. Meantime, Newcastle City are hoping to give Turgle Avoca their first loss of the season. Also, Cardiff has moved their game straight to Tuesday, where they take on Warners Bay. Of course, that's the same for the women. And of course, that's about it for now. Thanks again for your company. Good afternoon.